Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. Today, we're going to cover an introduction to Millions on Mars. Now, this is a game that actually Miles, head of our research team at Blu Ocean Games Guild, has been playing for quite a while. And we did a Coffee and Crypto episode about this actually, and I'll be sure to make sure that pops up on the screen here so you can check it out. But without further ado, let's jump right into it. So this community in particular has been really strong over this bear market, and that's actually what got our attention originally. Is like, hey, there's this play to earn game, it's doing great, the community's thriving, and it really stood out from a lot of other projects at the time because most other projects weren't doing so well compared to when they first came out, back when. And these guys are doing a few things a little differently. So if you haven't checked this out, it's definitely worth taking a peek at. So just taking a look at their website, you can see there's quite a bit going on with the video. They've got Martizens, you're on Mars. They've got all these different NFTs. What does this mean? So just to kind of jump right into it, they are headquartered in the States, which is cool. So a North American company. And they talk about how they're dedicated to building an aspirational near future world, right? So what's really great about these guys is they've been in Fractal. They're really popular, and they get a lot of article coverage and media coverage and stuff too. You can see they're on Wax as well. They're also on Solana. And I like how they keep people up to date with their articles as well. So like I said, these guys are great at keeping people up to speed on what's going on with the game and the community, releasing articles, partnership stuff. And I'm going to actually show you guys this one a little bit more because this graph here that talks about a healthy game economy absolutely blew me away. So just kind of moving along. Right? What is Million on Mars and kind of understanding the just behind it. So there are these Martizens now that was only recently added in. And these are basically like workers you can think about because normally you have to contract other people to do jobs for you. If you yourself don't have enough energy, these Martizens are a way to kind of help with that because they can actually do a lot of the work. This was really cool how they added this in. They also made it so that it was Solana specific. So it kind of forces you to use the cross-chain aspect of it, where a lot of people maybe got started on Wax with the game, but actually if you want to get the Martizens, you need to use Solana. So they talk about crafting and strategizing while you settle on Mars, and it's the hit blockchain game on these two networks. You can pick up NFTs, on either. Like I said, what we found is starting on Wax was simple and then kind of moving over to Solana afterwards. Really, it's completely up to you. And their lore is something that really stands out too, which apparently is super engaging. A lot of people want it, and it's not something that you just automatically get either. So there's actually a progression in the game to get a library in order to unlock the ability to read all the lore, which is really cool. And then researching, obviously, you want to be researching different areas so you can have perks pertaining to certain types of collection that you might be doing. But this is what I really like, is how they set up their roadmap. So it doesn't look like your general roadmap, right? It's not a straight line. It's kind of this interesting way that they did it. I really like that. You can see we're all the way up past Martizens and settlements now. There's going to be glitter staking rewards, a player guide in game, also localization and PvP rover battles. And that's probably the one thing I'm most excited for, because I feel like it's gonna add a lot more utility into the tokens and the game and Dusk itself, because now there's gonna be this whole PvP aspect. So I wonder what that's gonna do for the earning potential. Right now it's just speculation, but I think it's gonna really make a big difference. Also, you can play right from the web browser, so that's nice. It's really straightforward there. I definitely recommend you do your own research before you jump in. You want to make sure you understand what you're doing, or you're going to be kind of lost. That is one thing we noticed about this game. If you just try to poke around and figure it out, you're going to get stuck, right? Make sure you read the guide. Make sure you take a look at the white paper. You understand you need to have a certain amount of NFTs to get started. There's a starter pack, for example, which also keeps bots out. So you actually need to purchase this item first before you can really start properly playing. They talk about how there's endless ways to play and own. This whole play and own versus play and earn thing is kind of interesting too. That's a PR approach that they're taking, which I think is kind of smart, but at the same time, it is kind of common. We're hearing that from a lot of games. right now. So you can play with an access badge, find an adventure on Mars as you scavenge the terrain for tradable resources and snag jobs to earn dusk. You can become a Martian entrepreneur by acquiring land, depositing buildings, and crafting valuable resources. You can create and join settlements. This website probably hasn't been updated in a little while because you can do this already. Strategize your land use to create the ultimate settlement, attract adventurers, and earn passive dusk. It's kind of like guilds almost, you could think of it, or like an alliance in a sense. You can get a lot of people kind of working together. They talk about the NFTs you can buy on Nifty Blocks or Atomic Hug if you want to get started there. Like I said, we did Wax as well just to kind of get started. And then the Martizens. I like the art on this, and anybody who knows me knows I absolutely love cats. So the fact that they added in cats to most of them here, I'm kind of a sucker for it. I'm really interested in a lot of them, and I like how they even added this. This is a specific type of cat actually that has short ears, so that was cool. You're not just getting a generic cat, kind of like these two pictures show the same one. So I really like that. It adds a lot of character to it. But there's a lot of things that it does, right? So it talks about how it changed the game with special and rare in-game traits, specialize and level up across the 13 different professions. You can automate habitats and settlements to enhance your gameplay, and there's ongoing rewards, token resources, and future surprises. So basically there's an incentive on why you should get these Martizens. Now, how many you get is a different question. They also talk about rarity, right? So this matters too. There's common, uncommon, you can see it kind of keeps going up. And obviously that's going to impact all kinds of different things like your yield, in-game value, the scarcity, all that stuff. Of course, it's going to be more expensive the further you go. Now, this is the thing that really impressed me with the professions. This was really cool. So you can earn XP and level up to unlock your skills to get new recipes and rewards. There's everything from chemistry to fabrications. It's your path on how you decide you want to specialize, right? So there's so many different use cases for all of these, right? I think actually part of the hard part is figuring out which one to go with. And it makes you really have to kind of take a look at the market, see what the demand is, really kind of hone in on what you think is best to do, because you're not going to be able to cover them all right away. Of course, upgrades, being able to bring your NFT structures kind of to a higher level. There's shards and dusk things that are required to do that, but it's going to improve your ROI. This incentivizes people to keep re-spending back in the game, which is really smart. There's habitats and settlements. So the ultimate feature for guilds, no matter what the size. Talks about how you can generate and earn dusk while you're sleeping, and then you can kind of use the multiple land plots that you have to create a settlement together. Also, it talks about the multi-chain support, right? So Wax and Solana. I really like that they did that because it opened up to a lot of more people who maybe preferred Solana or preferred Wax, but then of course they kind of made something specific to a few of those networks, so it forced players to kind of learn about the cross capability that this was possible with, which is cool. So of course it's definitely worth mentioning their team. These guys are fantastic. They've done a wonderful job, like I said, especially their community development, but also their in-game economy. Even during this entire bear market that's been going on for quite a few months, they've really done a good job at stabilizing, I guess you could say, in a way, their earnings and putting back into the game and creating this player-driven economy. It's probably one of the most impressive parts about the game. Otherwise it's not, I don't want to say it's not interactive because it is. It's just not a traditional game in the sense that you've got this full 3D experience that you're having and you're walking your character around and doing stuff. It's more like clicker-based management, plot orientation. There's a lot of UI stuff, which is really cool. But because they have such an amazing economy, you really want to be spending your time in those menus and going through things and understanding everything properly. So it's really a lot of strategy. So definitely make sure you come over here and check out some of these guys. You can see the top line has their LinkedIn if you want to find out more information. Now, this is what I really liked, is they were showing kind of the structure on how to create a healthy in-game economy. So you can see the legend up at the top left, stamina, power, dusk, items, or time. You can kind of pick anywhere you want to start. Like, let's say we want to start from over here, top left with the player. So the player can go to the shop, from the shop, you can purchase dusk. At that point, there's so many different places you can go, to the marketplace, or maybe down here you want to, set up a work order. So somebody else potentially will help you with something, and you got to pay, some dust to do it, because why else is someone going to do it? You as a player can also scavenge yourself. You as a player can also do missions, but now you're using your stamina. So there's only so many missions you can do, which is why the work order can be handy, because maybe you ran out of stamina while you're trying to collect water, but you need a certain amount of water to do the next thing. So now you want to create a work order for it. You can also rent a building or rent out a building. And then that, of course, can tie to many different areas. You're going to collect dust or spend dust. You can take that out, list it on a DEX like Alcor. You can sell it. You can also purchase more. Maybe you set up a work order, and then you want to use what you collected from that in order to craft an item. But that's now going to take power and time, right? So then once you craft that item, it turns into a resource. You can take that resource, sell it on the marketplace. There's a 5% fee. And you can kind of see how all this connects together. Like the shop revenue, 100%. It also talks about treasury, 20% of things being burned, will go to the treasury. The remaining 80% is burned. There's also a 10% dust withdrawal fee. So once you kind of go through this a couple times and map it out, it's very intuitive, but it's really well done. And even though this might look overly simplified, once you break it down, then you're like, oh, I totally get this. This is why their economy is doing so well. So I think a lot of other projects could take a note from this. And, if they want to create more of a sustainable long-term economy, not just this kind of pump and dump style that some play-to-earn games have kind of experienced, this is a really good model to take a look at. Okay guys, well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Like I said, this was just a brief introduction to Million on Mars, and we did do a Coffee and Crypto episode before, so definitely check that out. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, hit that like button, because this really helps the YouTube algorithm show this content to other people who are interested. And of course, hit that bell notification to stay up to date on all the great content we have coming out for you in regards to play to earn. Until next time, cheers.
Don't forget about our 1,000 subscriber giveaway, where you can win $200, and if you need more information, be sure to join us on our Discord. See you there.